Now we see Tower's going to go ahead, activate its effect. The opponent is now forced to go ahead and send one monster from their hand or their side of the field to the graveyard is their choice. And it looks like Ronin Totem is sent to the graveyard. Sacrifice is being activated, attached to Qliphort Disc, and Qliphort Disc is up to 3100 attack. This is insane. And now 4Life is going to take on the onslaught of all these Qliphort monsters, but no! The Mirror Force coming in! Mirror Force in 2018, boys. Mirror Force in 2018. What is going on? Welcome to Fantasia, home of the Melodias. My name's Azallea, and today, gonna be bringing you guys a little stream highlight. So this highlight was actually taken as an excerpt from last week's stream. If you guys want to tune into future live streams, I go live every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube, so come join in on the fun. But anyway, without any further ado, let's just jump right into this, and I'll see you guys at the end of the video. Let's go. So here we have Cheezy versus 4Life right here for the last duel of the stream. Let's see what's going to be going on here. So rock, paper, scissors being played out. Rock versus rock. Nothing happens, but we have rock versus paper, and paper beats rock. So let's see who goes and starts this duel off. So we have Cheezy versus 4Life here, and it looks like 4Life is starting off this duel, activating Medallion of the Ice Barrier. So we see ice barriers actually coming out. This is a first. This is something that's very, very new. So we have Cryomancer of the Ice Barrier being searched out and summoned to 4Life side of the field. While you control another Ice Barrier monster, level 4 or higher monsters cannot declare an attack. And over here we have Prior of the Ice Barrier. So if you control a face-up Ice Barrier monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You cannot special summon any level 5 or higher monster the turn you use this effect. You know what? That's completely fine. So it looks like what happened here is 4Life using the Ice Barriers as a little engine to go ahead and access the frogs. So we have Totally Awesome being summoned and Swap Frog being summoned out from the deck. So Swap Frog gonna go ahead and send a copy of Ronin Totem to the graveyard. So this is gonna set up for his next turn. Now Dupe Frog would have also been an option for Totally Awesome to summon out, because Dupe Frog can go ahead and redirect attacks to it, protecting Totally Awesome from something like battle. But what we see here is Cheezy going ahead, having no fear, just activating his scale, so Performapal Trampolinks. And life is being triggered saying, oh no, it's Performapals! Oh wait, there's more. So we have Qliphort Scout being activated in the Pendulum Scale, Totally Awesome going ahead saying, nah, we're not having any of that. And negating and destroying that Qliphort Scout, sending it to the graveyard, but we're gonna go ahead and set it to his side of the field. So now, he has a 2800 defense Qliphort Scout just sitting there. But what we have here is a follow-up play. We have Qliphort Cephalopod. Cephalopod is going to go ahead and be activated and scaled as a scale 9 to contrast the scale 4 that the Trampolinks has right there. And we see a massive pendulum summon coming out, Qliphort Monolith and Qliphort Shell being tributed afterwards to go ahead and summon Qliphort Disc. Now Qliphort Disc can go ahead and activate its effect once it's tribute summoned. If his tribute summons a Qliphort monster, he can go ahead and special summon out 2 Qli monsters from the deck, but they're destroyed during the end phase of the turn. So we see Helix, we see Carrier coming out to Cheezy's side of the field, and now he has monsters powerful enough to go ahead and ram into the opponent. So we see Qliphort Disc going ahead destroying that Totally Awesome, but Totally Awesome has a way to recover resources when it's sent from the field to the graveyard, or just sent to the graveyard in general actually. You can add 1 water monster in the graveyard back to the hand. So he went, of course, and targeted that Swap Frog. So now we have that Heavy Metalfoes Electromite coming out because there's no Qliphort in the Pendulum Scale. There's no restrictions to the type of monsters that can be summoned. So Electromite gonna go ahead, activate its effect. It can actually put a Pendulum monster from the deck into the extra deck. Okay, so now we see that Qliphort Helix gonna go ahead, be put into the extra deck, and now Electromite's gonna go ahead and destroy that Trample Links in the scale, adding back that Monolith from the extra deck to the hand, and then gonna go ahead and draw a card. Now it's important that the Monolith was added back. It actually is because of the fact that during the end phase of the turn, Monolith can trigger and draw 2 cards because Qliphort Disc tributed 2 Qli monsters. So this is actually very, very good value. So now Cheezy has a scale 1 and a scale 9 Qliphort Disc and Electromite on his side of the field with 3 cards in hand. 4 Life, on the other hand, has that Qliphort Scout that he stole from Cheezy, which is of course a very good play to stop those searches from happening. But now Life has 5 cards in his hand. Okay, so now we see that the Strategist of the Ice Bear is being discarded by Swap Frog. Swap Frog gonna go ahead and send more Frog monsters from the deck to the graveyard, or more specifically level 2 or lower Aqua type water monsters. Which of course encompass the entire Frog archetype. As we can see here, Dupe Frog being sent to the graveyard, this is good fodder for something like Ronin Totem. Because of course Ronin Totem can just banish that Dupe Frog, and then go ahead and special summon itself out and be used as overlay or link material for some summons. Now Swap Frog gonna go ahead, return itself from the field back to the hand, and now gonna get normal summoned out to just dump more frogs from the deck to the graveyard. So Swap Frog gonna go here, possibly going for another Ronin Totem, but instead we see a Poison Draw Frog coming out. Poison Draw Frog is going to be very nice fodder for that Ronin Totem, but we'll see what he banishes first. Alright, the Poison Draw Frog is being banished, and then Ronin Totem is summoned to his side of the field. Now what he should do here is possibly go for something like a Link Summon, possibly something like Miss Starboy, because Miss Starboy can boost the attack of that Totally Awesome to help go for some more damage, and potentially help attack over some of Cheezy's larger boss monsters, such as this Qliphort Disc that we see right here, with 2,800 attack points. So Qliphort Scout is being flipped face up. Now it's very important that Life tries not to give his opponent the Qliphort Scout back, because if he does, what happens is Electromite can actually just go ahead and pop one of the scales and go ahead and add that, well, Qliphort Scout back to the hand from the extra deck. So that's definitely a thing that Electromite can do. However, if he does destroy the Electromite, that's going to be very good because of the fact that he cannot get another one on board because of the Qliphort's effects in the Pendulum Scale. So Cephalopod and Monolith both have the effect where, well, you can't special summon anything except Qliphort monsters. So that is definitely a thing. So it is all up to 4 Life, and how he decides to play it out. He can potentially, of course, go ahead, destroy this Electromite, and, you know, use his Scout as a link material for a link summon. Maybe something like Decode Talker could suffice as well, but we'll see how it plays out. Sky Cavalry Centauria being XYZ summoned in this case, and Sky Cavalry Centauria is possibly going to go ahead and get rid of the Electromite. That seems like the most logical thing to do, because Qliphort Disc is actually very immune to to cards. So it's unaffected by activated effects from monsters whose original levels or ranks is lower than this card's current level. So Centauria does not actually affect Qliphort Disc. So now, going into the main phase 2, after that Electromite was returned to the extra deck, in which Cheezy cannot actually summon back because of his monster restrictions, we see Ronin Totem banishing a Dupe Frog to summon itself out to his side of the field to just protect him from some damage. Now, it is important to note that Qliphort Disc is very powerful, but it's only really sitting here as a 2800 attack beat stick that's unaffected by things. There's not really too much else that it has to offer. Summoner's Art is being activated, another Qliphort Monolith is searched out from the deck and added to the hand, and now, what are we going to see here? We're going to see a massive Pendulum Summon. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that he can actually summon something like Qliphort Genius, because Qliphort Genius only requires 2 machine-type monsters, which all the Qliphorts are, and it bypasses the restrictions that, of course, Monolith and Cephalopod are putting onto Cheezy's side of the field. So, definitely a thing that he can consider. Okay, Qliphort Monolith is being Pendulum summoned out alongside of Qliphort Stealth from the hand and Qliphort Carrier from the extra deck. So now we'll see what Cheezy is going to do. Cheezy can easily try to attack over his opponent's board, but he has to keep in mind that Sky Cavalry Centauria cannot be destroyed by battle. But it looks like Cheezy is going to go ahead and do a really nice play. This is a big brain plays, guys. Look at this Galaxy AI move right here. Okay, Qliphort Carrier was attributed as one of the cards that was attributed for Qliphort Disc, but what we see here is that Carrier, when it's tributed off, you can actually target one monster your opponent controls and return it to the hand. So he targets his own Qliphort Scout, returns it to his hand, he has possession of it again, and now he's going to go for a ton of damage. Now, even though Sky Cavalry Centaria does not get destroyed by battle because he has a material left on him, he still takes the damage. So he takes 1,100 damage from that Qliphort Disc, and then Monoliths coming in, following up with damage of their own. We see 700 coming out from the first Monolith. The second Monolith will probably follow suit as well. And we also have this other Qliphort Disc for another 1100, and this Carrier as well. But wait, what is going on here? Life, no, this is not what you want to do. Sky Cavalry Centaria has used this material, but now it loses this protection effect on the field, and that's not good. Alright, so Centaria bounced back the Monolith from the field to the hand, which really didn't accomplish that much overall, but we'll see what life has in store for us here. Okay. So we see that the Qliphort Monolith is going to go ahead and attack into that Ronin Totem, just getting it off the field so the opponent can't use it for link materials or XYZ summons and shenanigans of that sort. And I believe the other disc and the other carrier have not attacked yet, so we'll see if they choose to do so. Okay, so the Qliphort Disc, the other one, the second one that hasn't attacked yet, is going to inflict 1100 damage to the opponent and destroy the Sky Cavalry Centaria. Probably should not have activated that effect. And then that Qliphort Carrier is going to go ahead, 1800 damage coming in to his face. So Cheezy sitting at a very, very good position with 4 monsters on his side of the field, 2 scales up. He activates a laser clip in the field spell zone. This allows him to go for an additional normal summon this turn. So he's going to go ahead and tribute off his Qliphort Carrier. Carrier's going to go ahead and activate, try to bounce back a monster, but you know, it doesn't really matter because Qliphort Disc is unaffected. Now, Qliphort Monolith's going to go ahead, draw 3 cards. That's the reason why he went for that second tribute summon, just to get that extra draw out of his end phase. So with 4 monsters on field, 2 pendulum scales, 1 field spell, and 4 cards in hand, Cheezy is looking in a very, very solid position. For life, going to go ahead, top deck a card. Let's see what he's going to do here. He's banishing a Swamp Frog from his graveyard to go ahead and activate the Ronin Totem, special summoning it to his side of the field. Still 4 cards left in hand, but he's just going to go ahead and set one down. Setting one back row, he's going to go ahead and actually pass his turn. So now it comes back to Cheezy, and we'll see what he has in store for life here. 5 cards in hand. He's just going to go for the Pendulum Summon, not even going to go for Link Summons at all. No Qliphort Geniuses or anything of the sort, but it doesn't look like he needs it anyway. So Pendulum summoning out the Qliphort Carrier from his extra deck and the Cephalopod from his hand. For life is considering the GGs, considering the handshake, and now we see the Wavering Eyes coming out as well. 500 damage to the opponent, and because he destroyed 2 Pendulum Scales, he can go ahead and add 1 Pendulum Monster from the main deck to his hand. Now, this opens up his Pendulum Scale so he can actually activate Qliphort Scout. Qliphort Scout going for the search. Gonna go ahead and grab another Qliphort monster out from the deck. So we see Apo Qliphort Towers being searched out. The big boss monster of the deck, tributing 3. There we go. Apo Qliphort Towers summoned to the field in all of his glory. Now we see Tower's going to go ahead and activate its effect. The opponent is now forced to go ahead and send 1 monster from their hand or their side of the field to the graveyard is their choice. And it looks like Ronin Totem is sent to the graveyard. Sacrifice is being activated, attached to Qliphort Disc, and Qliphort Disc is up to 3100 attack. This is insane. And now, For Life is going to take on the onslaught of all these Qliphort monsters, but no! The Mirror Force coming in! Mirror Force in 2018, boys. Mirror Force in 2018. What is going on? Oh, man. Apo Qliphort Towers, though, is unaffected by spell and trap card effects, but we'll see what happens here. Cheezy cannot actually destroy this monster. We have Pilgrim of the Ice Berry. This card cannot be destroyed in battle with monster with 1900 or more attack. What? What is going on? I don't even know. Pilgrim, you're broken. Pilgrim is too good. Mirror Force in 2018. This is Galaxy AI plays, man. 300 IQ. No, 500 IQ plays. Oh my god, Medallion Ice Barrier being activated. Gonna go ahead and search for another Ice Barrier monster to add to the hand. Oh my god, what is going on? And look at the sizes of Cheezy's extra deck, guys. It has so many Qliphort cards that are currently in it. 14 pendulum monsters residing in the extra deck. Can't even pendulum some of them all out if you wanted to. Okay, so Life gonna go ahead, go to the search for the Medallion of the Ice Barrier. Let's see what he has in store for us here, because we know some of the Ice Barriers are actually pretty good in terms of their effects. So we have Strategist of the Ice Barrier being searched out. Once per turn, you can send one Ice Barrier monster from your hand to the graveyard to draw one card. So it's actually not too bad, but it's also not really gonna help him in this situation. But what he can do is actually use it as fodder to help prevent that Qliphort Towers from going ahead and, well, getting rid of that Pilgrim of the Ice Barrier from his side of the field. So we see Qliphort Carrier being pendulum summoned out, Qliphort Shell from the hand as well, and now all Cheezy needs to do is tribute off that carrier to go for another Qliphort monster, in which case we see Qliphort Disc being summoned out to Cheezy's side of the field, and we see Disc activating, summoning more Qliphort monsters out, and Carrier bouncing back that MVP monster, the Pilgrim of the Ice Barriers, back to the hand. Oh man, guys, and now we see Qliphort Helix and Qliphort Carrier being summoned out from the deck. That's a lot of Qliphort monsters in the deck. We see Qliphort Towers being searched out yet again, and now 3 tributes to go for a second copy of Towers. This is indeed Towers Turbo, guys. Cheezy is calling out the GGs, but we don't know if Life has anything else in his hand. We have Battle Fader coming out, guys. Clutch. Life is hanging on to this. He's saying no. No, Cheezy. No, you're getting denied. Okay? Alright, Life went ahead, summoned out that Battle Fader. Now Cheezy's going to go ahead and activate Qliphort Towers, activating its effects, forcing Life to go ahead and send monsters from his field or his hand to the graveyard. The Battle Fader is sacrificed, but he did his job. Strategist of the Ice Barrier was also sent from the hand to the graveyard as well from the second Qliphort Towers effects, and now 4Life is setting 1 card to his side of the field and passing his turn. So now it's all up to Cheezy and see what he can do here. So Cheezy actually went ahead and put his Qliphort Towers into defense position. What are you doing, Cheezy? No, don't throw this now. Alright, so Qliphort Towers activating his effect. Ronin Totem sent from the hand to the graveyard from Life's side. And now Life is possibly forced to go ahead. Oh no, he's not. He went ahead, sent that BLS from his hand to the graveyard. Qliphort Towers. No, what is going on? That Pilgrim of the Ice Barriers is set to his side of the field. It's gonna stare at him if he attacks into it, just saying wagging his fingers, can't do anything. Oh man, Cheezy says that defense towers was an accident, and we know that, and that is completely fine. But let's see what he can do here. Cheezy gonna go ahead using his Qliphort Monolith Pendulum Summon from the extra deck, gonna go ahead and attack into the Pilgrim of the Ice Barriers. Oh man, the GGs are coming out. Pepe hands, guys. Pepe hands. Oh man, we saw so many good plays, and this ends perfectly. So Cheezy gonna take this one away with the double Qliphort Towers against 4Life's Ice Barriers. Alright guys, thank you all so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you would like to stay updated on future live streams, make sure to follow me on Twitter or join my Discord server. Links to both will be in the description down below. And until next time, take care.